Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're back to a channel favorite. Today, we're talking about 6 rogue decks you can play for the January 2020 format. This is going to be a pretty cool format because right before Set 9 comes out, we're getting the expansion for the 2 Surge leaders this weekend, which actually introduces 4 multicolor leaders of all different types of color combinations. It's gonna be really cool. A lot of decks you can play right now, and then once Set 9 comes out, I think Set 9 is gonna integrate pretty well into the current format. I don't think it's gonna be too overwhelming, but you know, time will tell. With that being said, guys, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss a video. If you want to help support the channel out and keep this content rolling, make sure to go to the description below. Lots of links there where you can help support the channel. Most notably, the Crossroad TCG merchandise. Get this sick logo on a dope looking shirt. They really do look awesome, guys. And finally, I'm going to link it down below, the Daily Mac Tournament of Power. We want to see you there. It's going to be the biggest tournament of the weekend, and my team and I are going to make that happen. With that being said, let's get right into this video. These decks will probably still be viable for the Tournament of Power as well, so just want to throw that out there. Demi Gras, it's been pretty relevant since Nationals. It even topped Nationals, and it only gets stronger and stronger. I mean, as we get more generic Overwhelms, as we get more generic black support, this deck can only get better and better. I know we're not really talking about Set 9 yet, but I do want to talk about one thing I saw. There was a Demi Gras in there, I believe. Not a Demi Gras, a Deborah, sorry. A Deborah, I believe it was a 3 cost, and I think it said if you had all black energy, it becomes a 2 cost. And I also think it said counterplay. When you play the card, you target a battle card, and that battle card cannot activate its skills for the duration of the turn. That's literally a cold bloodless for mono black in the form of a battle card that gets around deflect. So just looking towards the future, that's stupidly insane. But if you're an aggro player and want to play aggro this format, and if you don't want to shell out the money for baby, those power boosters are still kind of on the expensive side. If you want to play aggro, Demi Gras is probably the deck for you. Now, through the evolution of Demi Gras, it wasn't always an aggro deck. Like, there were some later turns where you could drop a lot of overwhelms with the wormhole effect and cards like Dark Plot. But Demi Gras Demonic Overlord is really what sent this deck over the top as an aggro strategy. Activate main, burst 2, pay 2 energy. If you lead a card to Demi Gras or Toa, and you place this card from your hand in the drop area, choose 1 or 2 cards in your life, add them to your hand, then choose up to 1 Gravy and 1 Poutine from your deck and or Warp, and play them, then shuffle your deck if you look through them. So the crazy thing is, this deck is ultra consistent. So you play the 4 Poutines, which the Demi Gras fetches from the deck, but the Poutine also searches the Demi Gras from the deck. So you just have insane consistency, cards searching each other out, and like I said, the more generic overwhelms we get, the crazier this deck's going to be. Also, another card that makes this deck absolutely insane is the Ghost Warrior Turles from the tournament pack. That card is a dual attack 15k black card. You play it for free. You can play that in the same turn you drop this card, so that's 4 threatening swings right there with your leader. That's not even counting any overwhelms. Your leader and Demi Gras set you up for a minimum of a overwhelm 5. So that's just so much pressure early on. And the Gravy you drop is a 20k beat stick, so that thing is going to linger around for a little while. It's really, really strong, guys. This is probably one of the strongest aggro decks right now outside of like starter yellow combo baby. So if you want to play aggro this format, this is probably the deck for you. And this is a deck to invest in because I think it's going to get stronger as time goes on, because mono black is going to keep getting support. I can almost guarantee you that. And at least in Set 9, it's going to get more support. Next up, I want to talk about Bulma. Bulma's kind of slept on right now, and I've always talked about how Bulma has potential to be really, really strong considering all the draw power it has. I mean, once you're awakened, it's literally just draw 2. And one of the other cards in the deck, Birthday Party. Now, I'm going to talk about 2 different variants of Bulma you could possibly play, but no matter what you're playing, you're probably going to want to include Birthday Party, because one of the things with multicolor decks that don't include blue, and even blue now is included in this now that Button is gone, dual color decks, they really have a problem with running into too many 10Ks and sometimes too many 10Ks and extra cards. Birthday Party helps you fix that problem by literally just fixing your hand. You draw 2, you get rid of the worst 2 cards in your hand afterwards. 2 dead 10Ks, 2 dead extra cards, you get rid of them. And like I said, once you get to your backside, you just draw tons and tons of cards. Bulma is a weaker leader. She is only a 10K leader, but that draw power helps make up for it, just like Hercule kind of back in the day. Now, 2 builds I want to talk about. There's the typical Son Goku Dawn of Divinity build where you play Birthday Party, and then in that build, ideally, you're probably pitching a lot of your Vegetas, Trunkses, Gotens, Gohans, Videls, those types of things, or you're just playing them, drawing off most of them, blocking with them to defend damage, and then you're going to go into your Son Goku Path to Godhood, go into your Dawn of Divinity. That's going to make this a double strike, dual attack crit for as low as 2 energy. That's pretty strong. And the other thing with Bulma too is you have great defensive cards. Since you're a red-yellow deck, you have Nimbus, you have Topo. So while you're defending against one of the strongest decks in the format, baby, you know, as notable as it is, you're gonna be okay playing defense like that, and then you're gonna drop your Sun Goku Dawn Divinity combo and start putting the pressure back on them. And that's a really big swing to throw at them. A lot of these baby decks are not even main decking Time Magic, so your dual attack double strike crit is probably gonna go through for damage, which is pretty insane. The other build I want to talk about when it comes to Bulma, guys, is Height of Mastery Bulma or Victory Strike Bulma. But even Height of Mastery is just strong enough on its own. So what you can do is you still play red yellow, so you're able to play Birthday Party as soon as you see it. And I'd probably recommend playing 3 copies of Birthday Party, maybe not 4, because it probably can get a bit clunky at 4, but 3 seems good, especially with Bulma's inherent draw power. You draw into it, you literally play it for free, and then you start cycling from there. But anyways, you play red yellow with the Height of Mastery engine still. You go your turn 1 red yellow charge, then you ideally will start charging the Whis free energy or more yellows. You go into your swap package, and all those cards are Saiyans and Earthlings, so they gain blocker if you need them. Path, for example, is a barrier blocker if you need it. But obviously, guys, you're going into your Height of Mastery, you're tapping down all your opponent's energy, and you're winning the game from there. And once again, Birthday Party helps you get that sparking inherently, so it's actually got pretty good synergy with the Height of Mastery package, in that you don't have to like over combo to get your sparking sometimes. Like even in Yellow Broly, when they were playing Height of Mastery Broly, you had to over combo sometimes just to get your sparking going, but Bulma does it inherently, which is really, really cool. Meanwhile, while you're playing red yellow, you have access to Nimbus, you have access to Topo, so I think it's a pretty good strategy. I've seen it beat Baby, I've seen it beat a lot of the top meta strategies, so I think it's a really good deck to try and pilot. Next up, we've got Lemonlime Frieza, one of the rogue kings of this format. And again, with set 9 getting closer and closer, we're getting more green-yellow support. So right now, green-yellow Lemonlime Frieza just seems like a great deck to invest in. Can you guys believe that a set 1 leader is still making waves in this format? Like, people talk about power creep all the time, but yet we still have a set 1 leader making waves in the format. That's pretty cool. But anyways, a deck you want to invest in, Super Saiyan Broly All Out Assault is the cornerstone of this deck. It's interruption, it taps energy, taps battle cards, destroys high cost battle cards like Apocalypse Grudge Grade A Baby, and it's a 6 cost, which perfectly fits for a lot of the new successor cards, some of the 6-drop successors that require you to sacrifice a 6 cost or some combination of 6 cost and 2 energy. It's a really cheap play, and you're able to make that in this deck pretty seamlessly thanks to Super Saiyan Broly All Out Assault. So a deck I would invest in for the future, but also a very fun deck to play this format if you like control and if you like mid-range. Next up, guys, the Broly Tragedy Foretold package. So in these videos, I often talk about red-green. I think it's a very strong rogue deck. I don't think it's the best deck in the format, but I do think it has a lot of really good stuff going for it. It's got control. You can play Topo because it's red. Lots of really strong things going for it. And like I said, we're getting the Broly Surge Leader this Friday. So this is a package I would recommend trying out. I think it's a lot of fun. The Broly Leader also breathes new life into it. We already have the goats from the Magnificent Collection that sends dormant to the drop area because the red-green leader doesn't start with it in play. So you have an easy way to dump it. That Go 10 then untaps energy. So it's like you really never paid energy for that 10k combo at all. And then you can make an arrival right then and there because you have the dormant in the drop area. You'll restand an energy. And if you have 2, you can go right to dropping Broly Tragedy Foretold. The red-green leader is also crazy strong as well because one of its awakened abilities lets you pop any battle card, ignoring barrier. It's so insane. Like Gogeta 7, as much of a force as that card is, that card can't touch red-green Broly. So that leader is super strong. I think it's going to make actual splashes in the meta. I would recommend giving it a shot as a rogue deck, which could easily become meta in my opinion. I'm calling it rogue because it hasn't really had the time to prove itself yet, but it's something I would definitely invest in. And guys, I would be remiss not to talk about the 2 other Surge Leaders coming out in the expansion. And you'll notice I'm not talking about Kefla here. I guess we can call it an honorable mention, but I'm really going to tell you why you shouldn't play it. U6 is a very difficult rogue deck to play right now because red is so popular. Red's so popular, and Vegeta Exploiting Weakness is very popular. So that card pretty much auto beats the U6 deck. But if you come across other decks, U6 has a good shot of winning. It's just red that's really, really tough. Topo is another tough card to push through as well. But when it comes to blue-green Piccolo and red-yellow Goku, there's a lot of cool stuff to try out. So with blue-green Piccolo in particular, if you read the leader effect on screen, it kind of screams hand control. One of the effects is you can either ramp using a blue-green multicolor in your drop area, or you can make your opponent warp 2 cards from their hand. So one of the very popular strategies being played this right now all over online testing is Gogeta 7. And you just play certain types of cards that fill your drop area with burst, other cards that are quick cantrips. They get you to sparking 10. You play Gogeta 7, you make your opponent warp the last 2 cards in their hand, and there you go from there. The thing is though, in this format with Baby being as strong as it is and as aggressive as it is, I think that's a pretty slow strategy to play. I actually think there are other avenues you can explore with Piccolo hand control, namely being the Goku Black Zamasu engine, the Goku Black from the draft box, and the Zamasu, I think it's from set 3 or set 4, Twisted Justice Zamasu. I think that's a really good engine to test out. It's a little bit lower to the ground, meaning you can get your plays rolling a bit faster than you can with the Gogeta 7. So something I wanted to recommend to you guys there. And next to him, we have Super Saiyan Son Goku, Surge of Divinity. This is going to be a very, very similar deck to Beerus, but I think Beerus has a little bit more in the way of draw power and combo power. Super Saiyan Son Gohan, Surge of Divinity, though, has a very, very strong control effect. While Beerus can remove cards from the board, Goku can negate all skills of all battle cards your opponent controls on either player's turn, thanks to activate main / battle. So I think that's a very powerful effect. I think when you're debating on playing a certain red-yellow strategy, I think you really have to debate whether or not you want to play Beerus for its pros and cons. It has removal, it has the free 10k on the backside, so you can always arrival without comboing from hand. Goku doesn't have those things, but I do think that plus 10k critical and the battle card negating, ignoring barrier is very, very strong. But I do think the main decks of Beerus and Surge of Divinity Goku are going to be pretty similar looking. So realistically, you could try out builds with Beerus and Surge of Divinity Goku, pretty much playing the same main deck, I think. And then, you know, you might include a few different cards here and there. Like, since Goku's a red-yellow leader, you can obviously play Bardock, not Will of Iron, Raider's Warcry, the draft box Bardock. So that's a really strong powerhouse that this deck has access to that Beerus doesn't. So there are just pros and cons that this deck has over Beerus, but Beerus also has pros over this deck. So it's something you're going to have to consider. I'd strongly recommend trying it out, though. I've been playing Super Saiyan God, Son Gohan, Son Goku, and I've really been enjoying it, guys. So these are the top 6 decks I think you can play as rogue strategies for this format, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think. What other decks should I have included? What other decks are you guys going to play this format? Let me know. I'll talk to you guys next time.